You participated in a reality show that simulated a crime, but you treated it as a real crime case, causing the police team's experts to fail to solve the case. You were supposed to simulate a crime, but you pulled off a perfect crime. In the end, the police team sighed. Fortunately, you're not a real criminal. Otherwise, we really couldn't have solved the case. The famous actress Su Xiaoxiao, who had entered the wrong room, rushed into your room and said, "Brother, I killed someone." You were confused. What's going on? Did I time travel? Looking at the panicked and beautiful girl in front of you, you were stunned. But soon you calmed down. This should be your original younger sister. Wait, what did she say? She killed someone. Your pupils dilated as you looked at this young and beautiful sister, feeling shocked beyond words. At the same time, Su Xiaoxiao stared at you, her face blank. What's going on? The person who was supposed to act with me was the movie star Yang Wei. Why did it become a handsome young man? Who is he? Did I come to the wrong place? Director Zhang Xin, seeing this major live streaming accident, slapped the table in anger. He called the on-site staff and asked, "What are you doing? What's going on here? Who is this person?" The staff member in charge of the scene setup replied, "Director, it's not my fault. The scene was supposed to be at No. 106 West Suburban Road, but Su Xiaoxiao went to No. 109 by mistake. She carried the prop of a corpse there. Why didn't you stop her?" "Because I also made a mistake. The door number of No. 109 was rusty, and the 9 fell off and became a 6. The key point is that the door was not closed, which led to Su Xiaoxiao's misunderstanding." Hearing this, Man-Cheng almost cursed. Such a low probability event could happen. There's no one like this. He looked at the number of online viewers in the live streaming room, which had already reached several million. Could he tell them that the program was wrong and start over? But that wouldn't work. Just as Director Zhang was thinking about whether to restream, the ordinary person was still acting. Zhang Xin saw that the ordinary person in the live streaming picture got out of bed and walked toward Su Xiaoxiao with a worried look. Zhang Xin thought for a moment and made a major decision. He would treat this major accident as an opportunity to draw attention. This episode would use the ordinary person's performance. In the room, you got out of bed and looked at your sister, whose face was covered in blood. Your heart immediately became anxious. What's going on? On the first day of your time travel, your sister became a murderer. Don't panic. Tell me what happened first. Su Xiaoxiao wiped her tears. She was now very curious about why this person was still acting. But since the director didn't call cut, everything must be under their control. So let's continue acting. Brother, a few days ago, I participated in a school-organized spring outing and was targeted by a classmate from the neighboring class, Liu Yang. Just now, when I came back from outside, I didn't expect him to follow me in his car all the way to my home. He wanted to rape me. I fought back desperately and accidentally hit him on the head with a hammer. I really didn't mean to. I was so scared at that time. I used whatever I could get my hands on. I didn't mean to kill him. Su Xiaoxiao's face turned pale with fear, and tears streamed down her face uncontrollably. You quickly hugged her and gently stroked her back. "Sister, it's okay." The fear, confusion, and helplessness were vividly displayed on her face at this moment. "I don't want to go to prison. I really don't want to go to prison." Hearing this, you didn't know what to do. After all, Liu Yang was the one who initiated the crime, and your sister only acted in self-defense. You didn't know if this would be considered manslaughter or excessive self-defense in this world, but no matter what, once the truth was exposed, it would have an irreversible impact on your sister. The perfect crime system was loading. Suddenly, a cold mechanical voice rang in your mind. Your eyes lit up. "Here it comes! Here it comes! The golden finger is here! Binding successful! The beginner's gift package has been delivered. Congratulations, host! You have obtained the skill of primary hypnosis. The host can put people into a light hypnotic state, making them unconsciously accept your point of view. Every time the host successfully commits a perfect crime, they will receive corresponding rewards. So, in order to obtain more skills, the host should hurry up and carry out the perfect crime." The voice suddenly stopped, and you quickly digested this information. Since your sister doesn't want to go to prison, and besides, it was the other party's fault first, then let's carry out a perfect crime, deceive the world, and bury this accidental killing deep in the mud. "Don't worry, sister. I'll help you carry out the perfect crime." Su Xiaoxiao gazed at your determined eyes. At this moment, although her face was full of terror, she became curious in her heart. How come this ordinary person seems so professional? At the same time, the live stream room was in an uproar. Don't say this ordinary person's acting skills are not bad. But what's the use of good acting skills? Can he help Su Xiaoxiao escape the crime? Standing in the hall, you looked at Liu Yan's body. Compared to Su Xiaoxiao's lost look, you seemed much calmer. It's quite a coincidence. Before the time travel, your greatest hobby was watching movies, especially detective ones. Now, facing such a terrifying scene, you couldn't help but recall a line from a certain movie. After you've watched 1,000 movies, you'll find that there are no strange things in the world. Your mind was racing, thinking whether the crime-solving methods from the previous live movies could be applied to the current situation. However, this scene was projected into the live stream room by the camera on Su Xiaoxiao's body and was ridiculed by the audience. He froze. Haha, must be feeling numb now, don't know what to do. After all, he's an ordinary person and can't quickly get into this role. He looks quite calm, but in fact, his heart is in a mess. Killing is easy, but destroying the evidence is not. Besides, Lu Liang has gone missing. If his family reports it to the police, the investigation team will soon find this place. After a moment, you took a deep breath. You had already thought of a solution in your heart. Brother, Su Xiaoxiao called softly from the side. You patted her head. It's okay. I'm here. You won't have any trouble. Su Xiaoxiao nodded vigorously. She had already gotten into the role. The fear, unease, and trust in her brother were all mixed in her eyes. You squatted down and took out the phone and car keys from Lu Yan's pocket. You didn't choose to turn off the phone. If Lu Yan's family called and no one answered, they would think he didn't hear. But if the phone was turned off and couldn't be reached, they would start to suspect. Of course, you also knew that at most 2 days, if Lu Lian's parents still had no news of him, they would definitely report it to the police. That would be the most difficult time. But for now, the task was to clean up the scene and erase all traces of his presence, including his body. Sister, go clean the blood off your body first, then close the doors and windows. Don't go anywhere. Wait for me to come back. Su Xiaoxiao hesitated for a moment and then nodded. Right. Suddenly, you called her. Don't tell anyone about this. Keep it buried in your heart forever. Then, you went to deal with the body first. At this time, above the small bungalow by the roadside where you were, a night aerial photography drone appeared. In the picture, you were standing in the backyard of the house, holding a shovel and hitting the ground hard, restoring it to a flat state. So stupid, actually burying the body in your own yard. When the investigation team comes, if they search the house thoroughly, they will surely find it. As expected, an ordinary person only has this much brain. It's better to bury the body in the wild than in the backyard. You don't understand. The most dangerous place is the safest place. After dealing with the body, you saw a car parked by the roadside of the building. It was Lu Yan's. You didn't rush over immediately. First, you scanned the surroundings to make sure no one was around. Then, you drove along the road, heading towards more and more remote areas. At this moment, above the car, the drone was recording your every move, all of which appeared in the live stream room. The show has been kind enough to pick a place in the suburbs without surveillance cameras. But, man, you should at least wear gloves. Are you trying to make it easy for the investigation team to find your fingerprints? That's too amateurish and unprofessional. If it were Yang Wei doing this, it would be much more exciting. Compared to finding a body, finding a car is the easiest. Once the car is found, you're done for. You drive the car along a secluded road and pass by a large truck carrying sand and gravel. You throw Lu Yan's phone into the truck's cargo area. You can't turn it off, or it will raise suspicion in Lu Yan's parents. Speed up the police report. For you, the time before the report is made is the best time to prepare for the perfect crime. Of course, you couldn't kick it on your person either. The police would track the phone's location through the signal, so you had it hauled away in a truck carrying sand and gravel. Eventually, you stopped at an old stone bridge. Due to its age, the railings on both sides of the bridge were in tatters and could be kicked apart with a single kick. You went to the rear of the car and pushed it hard. Soon, a splash echoed in the silent night as the car fell into the water. Bubbles rose on the surface of the river as the car sank gradually. The drone in the night sky recorded this scene, and the viewers in the live stream started to mock again. Not bad for an amateur. I could have thought of this way to dispose of the car too. I could do it too. Could we switch the perspective to see what Su Xiaoxiao is doing at home? Even the experts in the investigation team couldn't see through this guy's every move. But you could. The live streamer's mockery was nothing to you. You didn't know it, but you understood this. Sinking the car in a remote river wasn't a brilliant move. But there was no need to use overly sophisticated methods either. The car was the first clue for the police to investigate the case, so it would be found no matter how you dealt with it. All you could do was drive it as far as possible to delay the police's discovery. As always, time was the most crucial element in your plan. It was already 3 in the morning when you got home. Su Xiaoxiao wasn't asleep yet. She stood up from the sofa. You walked over and saw that her eyes were still moist with tears. What had happened earlier had affected her too much. In this world, she was your only family. Now that you had the system, you had to help her clear her name. Brother, how did it go? What did you say? Did you clean out all the traces of Lu Yang? You sat on the sofa and looked up at Su Xiaoxiao. Sister, do you have a fever? What nonsense are you talking? Who's Lu Yang? Has she ever been to our house? Hearing this, Su Xiaoxiao's pupils dilated. She stared into your eyes. At that moment, the lights around seemed to dim a little. She felt a bit dizzy. Then she heard you continue to say in her ear, "We don't know any Lu Yang at all. If we did, it would only be you who met her during the spring outing." just a brief encounter. At 3 in the morning, your words reached the ears of every viewer who was still awake. They felt a chill down their spines. You don't know her. She's still lying in your backyard. Of course, they also found it a bit ridiculous. Su Xiaoxiao was an adult, not a child. You telling her these things was just self-deception. But then they heard Su Xiaoxiao say, "It seems I really don't know her well." You smiled and patted her on the back of the head. Although the evidence had been destroyed for the time being, Su Xiaoxiao herself was an unstable factor. Once the police questioned her, she would definitely be extremely nervous. If they pressed her a little more, wouldn't she spill everything? So you had just used the hypnosis skill. Although it was only at the beginner level and couldn't make Su Xiaoxiao completely forget the name, it would gradually make her agree with this view subconsciously. Alright, go to sleep quickly. Tomorrow is the weekend. I'll take you to the countryside to enjoy the rural scenery and relax your mood. From then on, your plan truly began. At 7:30 the next morning, you got up, had a quick breakfast, and then took Su Xiaoxiao on a bus to Jinfu village. The bus was an old-fashioned one with a ticket seller carrying a bag and walking along. Along the way, you lifted the curtain and enjoyed the scenery outside. From time to time, you chatted with Su Xiaoxiao, and she responded casually. Clearly, she was starting to be dissatisfied with you, this amateur. She couldn't understand why the direction of the program had gone so off track and why the director hadn't called it off. If it weren't for her role as an actor, she would have given up too. You two are a couple, right? Are you going to Jinfu village to see the red flowers? Grandma, don't misunderstand. We are siblings. Sorry. It's okay. My sister and I are often mistaken for a couple when we are out. We are going to Jinfu village for a trip. Do you have any good suggestions? Opening the conversation, the ticket seller grandma sat down in the empty seat in front. If you are going to stay overnight, you can find a farmhouse in the village to stay. It only costs 100 or 200 yuan for one night. Besides the red flowers, is there anything else worth visiting in the village? Jinfu village is called Jinfu village because there is an old temple on the mountain in the village, where the Buddha is enshrined. If you are interested, you can go and pay your respects. On the bumpy mountain road, you chatted with the ticket seller grandma for a long time until the car gradually stopped at the edge of the village. It's ridiculous. I can't believe this guy actually chatted with the ticket seller for 2 hours. Am I really watching a crime variety show? The sparse comments in the chat room complained about your behavior. They really couldn't understand what you were doing. You said you were helping Su Xiaoxiao clear her name and that you had a plan, but in the end, you were just taking advantage of her. After all, if a commoner didn't make a mistake in the location, how could they have a chance to act with the goddess of the entertainment industry, Su Xiaoxiao? Of course, you didn't know that you were being scolded by the entire audience online. Following the ticket seller grandma's suggestion, you first found a farmhouse in the village. The owner was a middle-aged couple who used to be farmers in the village but started a business after the village became a tourist attraction. After paying the fee, you pulled Su Xiaoxiao to the fields to see the red flowers. Sister, be happy. I'll take some pictures of you in the red flower field. You took out your phone and started taking pictures of Su Xiaoxiao non-stop. And from time to time, you took a group photo. Su Xiaoxiao had no choice but to follow your requests. If she wasn't a good actress, she might have lost her temper. But the audience in the live stream was not calm. They started cursing. Shameless. There's no doubt now. You came here just to take advantage of her. After the program ends, she'll have something to brag about. She traveled with the goddess Su. On the other side, in the director's room, Zhang Sheng held his forehead and gritted his teeth in anger. The carefully crafted crime variety show was ruined by this guy. If people didn't know better, they would think it was a dating show. In the afternoon, you finished seeing all the red flowers in the village. When you and your sister returned, the couple greeted you with a smile. You walked over and asked, "What are we having for lunch today?" "I made some local dishes for you. They are all grown by us." "Is there any meat?" "I want to eat meat." You rubbed your stomach. "If you really want to eat, I will kill one for you later." "The price?" "It doesn't matter. I'll buy a sheep." You turned to Su Xiaoxiao and said, "Sister, we'll have roast whole lamb for dinner tonight." Su Xiaoxiao nodded numbly. She felt that she was being led astray and was really going to become a tourist here. That afternoon, the owner pulled out a small lamb from the sheep pen and prepared to slaughter it, skin it, and cut it up. You went up to him and said, "Boss, I've never killed a sheep before. Can I help you?" "Sure, young man. Tie on the apron first. Don't get your clothes dirty." So in the courtyard of the farmhouse, you helped the owner for a while. Su Xiaoxiao sat aside with a sullen face. After spending the day together, he had no hope left for you, the commoner. He was also a bit fed up. He had originally thought of using his acting skills to guide you back on track, but it was no use. You were already having too much fun. The crime variety show was now turning into a cooking show. It was better to end it quickly. I've had enough. If this continues, I'm afraid I'll attract a bunch of haters. On the other side, While the investigation team was still guessing what countermeasures you would take, you and Su Xiaoxiao were already hugging the roast whole lamb and eating it. Whether to say or not, this homegrown lamb is so tender and delicious that it's simply mouth-watering. So even if Su Xiaoxiao is very dissatisfied with you, she can't refuse this delicious meal. After a short rest in the evening, you took Su Xiaoxiao up the back mountain to the old temple in the village. Looking at the golden Buddha statue, you knelt on the mat, clasped your hands together and muttered, "Buddha, please protect my sister and keep her safe from harm." Hearing this, Su Xiaoxiao was stunned. No matter how good her acting skills were, she couldn't hold it in and showed a face full of question marks. "Brother, you really want the Buddha to protect me?" The live stream was immediately filled with laughter. I really died laughing. Is this his plan? Kneeling before the Buddha and asking for the Buddha's help. He must have been in a hurry to invite a joker. Between doing the right thing and cheating, he chose to do the right thing. Between being like this and seeking oneself, he chose to seek the Buddha. You knelt down and prayed for a while, then got up and took the money for the incense to the donation box, ready to put it in. But at this moment, the abbot of the temple raised his hand to stop you. "Thank you, benefactor. Only selfless giving can bring boundless merit. Your heart wasn't calm enough. May I ask if you have encountered any troubles recently?" "Master, how should I address you?" Kuhai, the boundless sea of suffering." "Master, you truly are master. My sister's grades aren't good. The college entrance examination is coming up soon. I've been very worried these days. I heard this temple is very powerful, so I came here especially to pray for her." You glanced at Su Xiaoxiao beside you. Su Xiaoxiao hurriedly smiled and bowed. Master Kuhai nodded. "Everything should be left to nature. Do what you can and don't force it." "Well then, I'll recite a sutra for the two of you. I hope you can clear your minds of distractions." You and Su Xiaoxiao sat down. Master Kuhai struck the wooden fish. His mouth recited the sutras, sounding ethereal and peaceful. About 20 minutes later, Master Kuhai finished reciting the sutra. You gently nudged Su Xiaoxiao, who was about to fall asleep. She scratched her head awkwardly. "I almost fell asleep. Master, while the sky is still stable, why don't you recite another one?" Su Xiaoxiao had a look of confusion on her face. Her eyes were almost closed. She simply let her eyelids droop and leaned against you, falling asleep. Of course, you were also very tired, but you had to pretend to be energetic. Only in this way could you leave an impression on Master Kuhai and facilitate your future hypnosis. The next morning, you and Su Xiaoxiao were waiting for the bus at the village entrance. In such a remote small village, there was basically only one round-trip bus a day. So when the bus came, you saw the familiar ticket seller. "You two are going back, right?" The ticket seller still remembered you. Last time, she almost mistook you for a couple. "Yes, Auntie. We came on April 2nd. My sister has to go back to school now." Back home, looking at the familiar hall, Su Xiaoxiao let out a long sigh of relief. Her previous mood had a feeling of a paid vacation. Now that she was back, this feeling could finally subside. At least she didn't have to go against her conscience and not do her proper duties, spending all day with this guy eating and drinking and wandering around. "Did you have fun?" You sat beside Su Xiaoxiao. She nodded. Despite being extremely speechless in her heart, she still maintained the level of an actor.